today?
Absolutely. Just terrific.
Perfect. There's few things you can count on in life, but JT being just terrific is one of those things. Awesome. So
And
today
Jay,
we're going to get started.
And Jay, I believe you're
Yes, sir.
just heavenly.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I don't think everyone's ever called me that, but I appreciate it nonetheless. All right, let's get started. We're going to take 3 bucket fills this morning, 3 only. So bring me your best, baddest bucket fills. Fill someone's bucket this morning. Let's start with gratitude.
Hey, Jay, I'll start.
Perfect. Thank you, Frank.
Hey, I want to shout out to Heather and also Dan. The class that Heather did last Thursday on command, walking through from putting in an opportunity to do an actual paperwork and DocuSign, phenomenal. If everybody has that and has a chance to review it and go back through it, you can pause it, you can take notes. It was a phenomenal class. And shout out to Dan for helping me through my first one that I was getting in on a purchase contract. So thank you very much to both of them.
Awesome. Thank you, Frank. Wonderful to hear. All right, who's next? Who else has got a bucket to fill?
I'm going to fill Jesse's bucket. Jesse's just always there for me, and he's helped me with everything with command and getting set up and going through some challenges with command and getting it fixed. And he's just very, very responsive, and I really, really appreciate it. And I want you all to get on to Jesse's Command Like a Boss weekly and really learn the system, because it's awesome and it does a ton of stuff for you, and you're going to love it once you make it sing.
Yep. I would agree. We are hearing that literally from agents across the country. You guys would not believe the amount of people that are tuning in to Command Tuesdays with Josh Team every other week. And I am reading story after story after story of agents that are dying for technology to help them run their business. They're watching the video, and 10 minutes in, they're like, I'm in. I got to have it. And so I'm saying to you guys, lean into it. You have an incredible resource here. Lean into it and take advantage of it, and it's going to change your business. Thank you, Jody. Last one. Who's got a bucket to fill?
I'd like to.
Perfect. Teresa Zajdzak.
I just want to thank, not only with technology, I think the staff and our colleagues, everyone's so supportive at KW. And I just want to put a great shout out to each and every one of you. Without you, I know I would probably have already got out of the business. So thank you for your support, your love, in addition to the great technology. So
awesome. That's sweet. And you're doing too good to be getting out of the business, Teresa. I don't know what you're talking about. So stay in it. Persevere, right?
That's
all
right.
I know I saw Kathy. Kathy or Colleen, do you guys want to chime in real quick? Somebody's muted. Kathy Fowler.
Calling all Kathy's.
You're muted, Kathy.
She's not. I think her audio is not connected.
Uh-oh. Is Colleen on the call?
No.
We can't hear you, Kathy. Why don't we jump to Debbie and see if Kathy can get her mic working?
Kathy,
Good job.
come back in.
There we go. I'm rooting for you, Kathy. Some days are like that, you know? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Ms. Chop.
I have an illustrious list of everybody that downloaded the app. I have everybody. So I have 20 Nike gift cards here for the Just Do It Challenge. You'll be getting it this week. So thank you for downloading the app for Intraland. It is such a great tool for your clients to get good rates, fast service, and it ensures that we're accountable to you to do an excellent job and choose to be great. So let me know if you have questions. What is Intraland? Debbie, why do we see your face all the time? Why are you up in our Zooms? Reach out to me. I'm happy to help you. If you win, I win. So, and I want to give a shout out to Dan and David. They're teaching the Ignite class, and I have committed to being on that this week, and you guys are an incredible group. So keep doing it. Love KW Southern Arizona. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Debbie. Appreciate it. All right, Kathy, were you able to log back in? 3, 2, 1. All right, we'll hit you at the end as we wrap up. Let's move on. Bold Pivot. All right, guys, it started yesterday, but it's not too late to get involved. If you're interested in being part of Bold Pivot, which is extremely focused on taking listings, it meets from 11 to 1 every Tuesday and Thursday. So you can jump in. We have some already prepaid tickets that we would love to let you use. And we'll just, it's $99 and we won't collect until your first closing after it starts. So that would be your next closing. If you're interested, reach out to Kayla Shinnick today where she can get you signed up. You've got to go join the Bold Pivot August 2020 Facebook page, and that's where all the curriculum is delivered to. So if you have any questions, ask Kayla or myself. We would love to take care of that. Awesome. Next slide, Dan. Tell us how Ignite 2.0 is kicking off, and then we're going to hand it to Aaron.
Ignite 2.0 is going great, guys. I want to say thank you for all the participation we've had so far. I am super excited about the curriculum we've got coming up and all the mega agents and team owners that are be helping giving us, including the one and only Aaron Wilson's going to be teaching one of the classes coming up very soon. So all the Ignitees, thank you so much for your participation. All the other agents that are joining in, I love having you on the calls. Thank you so much for everything. Just a reminder that today we are still doing Ignite right after our All Partners meeting. So log off of here, log back into the link at the 1KWSA website. Continue on doing your work, continue on making your businesses great, guys, and this is where it all starts. Thank you so much for all your participations.
Hey, Dan, tell all of our agents how many people have been participating in Ignite this round.
We've got 54 Ignitees as of right now. It's the largest Ignite class that we have ever seen. We've opened it up to all the market centers, all corners of our company, as well as bringing in 11 outside agents and non-licensees yet to grow our family base. So it is not too late. If you have a friend or you have a colleague that you've done a deal with that you think would be great for our company, you want to invite them to the series and kind of give them a behind the scenes, send them my contact information or just email their contact information to Heather at tech@1kwsa.com. We'll get them enrolled and we'll allow them to be part of our awesomeness and maybe just grow your downlines.
And they don't have to be licensed yet?
No, we're doing it. We're opening up to pre-licensees because we know that the licensing has been taking its time because of COVID. So we want them to be primed and ready for once they get their license, hit the ground running.
Awesome. Yeah, there's clearly limitations a non-licensed person can do, but they can still learn a lot about how to sell real estate and a lot about our company. So that's perfect. Thank you, Dan. Kathy, do you have a mic yet?
Can you hear me?
Gotcha. Perfect time.
Yay. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad. I just really wanted to kind of give a shout out to my team at Catalina Title. You know, we work with all the title escrow, all the title security escrow officers. And I have heard from every single one of them this last month that even though we are so busy, we are much faster than their own title department, much faster than the other title departments they work with. And so I know in this busy time, you guys sometimes have to wait for your title work, but if you put /Catalina Title on your contract, there will be no waiting. So please remember us and thank you so much for your business.
Awesome. Thank you, Kathy. All right.
Thank you.
Today's going to be chock full of learning. So hopefully you guys got your packets emailed to you this morning. I saw Dan posted they were emailed out at 8:20 this morning. So pull it up on a little side monitor. And Aaron Wilson, thank you so much for giving of your time every month to help educate our agents and make them the economist of choice for their clients. So the floor is yours, my friend, and you can take over and share your screen.
You got it. Thank you, ma'am. So let's start off. There's some pretty interesting data, FYI. So the data is only going to be good as you utilize it. So there's some shocking stuff that is out there that's probably going to kind of lead you in a direction on where the business is at, and I will show you that. It actually kind of took me by surprise. So when I get to that part of the presentation, you'll see what I'm talking about. We've got this in a PDF format. I am actually going to try and open this thing up here. I literally just got it sent to me, so just give me a second here to share screen, and when I do. But before I get to that, this is where I'm selfish, and I want to know what you guys are experiencing out there, because there's 80 people that are on the call, and I like being the dumbest one in the room, and I think I'm pretty good at that here today. So on that note, what are you guys experiencing in the field for the rest of us? Anybody?
I'm starting to see appraisals actually become better.
Okay, so meaning they're coming in?
Yeah, they're coming in. Even ones that I were like, there's no chance this one's appraising.
Okay.
No contest.
Anybody else? Michelle Ripley, I just saw you on the screen there. I just pointed you out. Muted. You're muted.
I was so busy looking for my stats email that I didn't really, I think I heard you say, what are we seeing out here in the market?
Yeah.
Still seeing multiple offers and home selling in the coming soon stage out here. So
Okay.
still very, very busy, low inventory, having trouble finding homes for buyers under 200, under 250 in nice areas. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths are hard to come by. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anybody
and
else?
Just to piggyback on that, because of the low inventory and the multiple offers, I know I personally am experiencing a much higher fallout rate than I've seen before.
Interesting. Interesting.
I took Aaron Wilson's advice and I took my new buyer to a new build site and sold him a spec.
How about them apples?
That was and it was so easy. Oh my gosh. I mean, I showed them 3 spec homes. They picked one and we bought it. And so those are there. They're beautiful. The competition on the day you show, if it's available, and you write an offer and nobody else is competing for it. So it was nice.
Correct. This month I have the new home sales stats along with the resale. So when we combine the two of them, it kind of gives you a clearer picture of what's going on. And on that note, it's actually kind of interesting to see what's happening. I'm going to pick on Sierra Vista a little bit, and I know Brandon's paying attention there. So Brandon, what are you guys seeing down there in Sierra Vista by chance?
It's just as hot down here. Homes are selling coming soon or within 24 hours of being listed with multiple offers. So can't get enough listings.
Gotcha. Just 24 hours? That's
Did that come through?
Yeah, it did. We got
Like the last
point of the just. Yeah. So multiple offers. Everybody agreeing with that? Multiple offers. Buyers getting beat out. Appraisal contingencies being waived. Can I keep going? What else? Anything else being a trend? No closing costs being paid by the seller?
Shorter inspection periods.
Oh, interesting.
Agreeing to pay on short appraisals up to a certain dollar amount, escalation clauses, obviously, larger earnest money deposits.
Okay, you want to know what I'm seeing in different locations? Not that it matters, but when I start monitoring other locations, sometimes the trends kind of ebb and flow into our area here in Tucson. We're seeing basically fees being paid by the buyer for the seller's behalf.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
My
we're
last
seeing,
buyer waived their inspection period, and that's how they got chosen to purchase.
correct. We're also seeing different situations to where there is no such thing as a seller's closing cost. It's paid by the buyer.
Yes, that's true.
So when you,
I last week, like these 2 weeks, I worked with 3 buyers looking for under 200 property. We offer 4,000 more on the asking price without asking seller concession, but we're still beaten.
I think one of the best phrases that I heard this last week or within the last 2 weeks was actually Denny Grimes had mentioned something. The listing price is actually the starting point in this kind of market. It's not what the seller's willing to accept. That's your starting point. the thing that we have to do for buyers is educate them on that kind of a concept when we're in this kind of a market. When you're able to show them statistically what kind of market they're in, they may not understand it on the front end, but they will understand it when they get burned 3 and 4 times. And then they start to get frustrated. And who else out here, by a show of hands, who has had buyers that are almost like, you know what, I just give up, I'm done. I just don't want to do this anymore, I'm out, you know. So here's the thing, we have to put the hat on to educate these individuals to where, hey, this is the norm in this kind of a market. So what we have to do is we have to go in strategically with your expertise. Now, I don't want to get into what your value is. However, think about this from a value perspective for you as a consumer. We had this conversation yesterday on a team meeting to where, let's go back 10 years ago. Some of you weren't in real estate, I get it. Others, that was your prime time. And I was in real estate, 10 years ago as well. However, what's changed in the industry in the last 10 years? In our industry, in not only Tucson, but nationally, what has changed? It's the internet. The information to the consumer is at their fingertips. It's no longer in your hands, it's in their hands. So now the question becomes, what is your value proposition for you to basically receive the commission that has not changed really? I'm not saying that you're not worth it. I'm just saying that you better find out your value proposition, and you also need to understand what type of experience are you providing to that client that is worth the money that you're receiving. Now, I'm not saying that every single new home build is easy. However, if I were to kind of chalk them all up together, I would tend to think that a new home build is a little bit easier than a resale. Now, does that mean your compensation needs to be different? Not necessarily, but it has not changed over the years, really. So think about your value proposition when you're putting these business plans together for the upcoming year. Not only that, think about it in this type of market. Is it harder for a buyer right now, or is it harder for us to represent a seller right now? It's harder to get a buyer under contract. However, here's the thing. If you don't have some sort of a format, such as an Excel sheet that's got 15 to 16 different lines for all the multiple offers that go in, you're going to be run through every single offer like chaos. So you got to have a system in place that kind of shows what you're going to present to that particular seller to where they get what they want. And it may not necessarily be the best price. It may be the terms and conditions inside that contract. Think about that. Not everything is about price. How many people have actually had letters that were written to a seller if you're representing the buyer? Bingo. Do you not? I'm telling you right now, that may or may not work for that particular seller. Depending on the situation. So not saying advise of it. I'm not saying disadvise. I'm just saying that there's different tactics that different people use. And right now we're in an extreme seller's market is what I'm getting to. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen here real quick. And then that way we can get to, let's see here. I want to get to desktop 2. Bingo. All right. You guys able to see that?
Yes.
Okay. So let me go ahead and get my screen situated to where I can actually speak. Bingo. All right. So the very first thing on the monthly indicators, you guys should have the packets. If you don't have the packets, let us know in the chat box so they can kind of send stuff out. Some of you, I know, is this all horizontal or are you guys looking at it vertical?
It's correct.
Okay, because I see Michelle Ripley kind of turning her head sideways, and it was sideways. Got it. So therefore, bottom line is this is kind of an indicator page right in the very beginning. I typically don't put this slide up. However, what I want to kind of show here is the reflecting pent-up demand from the COVID crisis. When we had the shutdown, it was pent-up demand because people still needed to buy and sell. However, they were restricted in the time frame of when they could. We had title companies kind of had a little bit of an edge there. We had lending. We had appraisers that didn't want to go in homes. So it kind of stretched out the timeline of the situation. So right now we've got a pent-up demand. The buyers are still out there. The sellers still want to sell their home. More sellers kind of, you would have thought, put their home on the market, but you're going to see here shortly that may not have been the case. Okay. So New listings. Take a look at the new listings here that are on the market. I'm going to get rid of this thing here real quick. Hang on. I'm seeing too much on my screen. So that being said, this right here, as you'll notice, we're down. We're down quite a bit on the new listings for the month of June. Down 17%, down 18% the month before, down 26%. If you take a look at that, we're actually falling quite rapidly and not having new listings come on the market. Anybody else experiencing that? Okay, so it's nothing new. We are feeling it. The data now, think about this. This data is about anywhere between 45 and 60 days old. In order for it to get in print, it's got to be closed data, okay? So the new listings that come on the market, that's our inventory levels, an indication of what we can potentially sell in the following months, okay? If you take a look at the trend analysis, every single month that's down here on the new listings, this is typically November, December timeframe, it always drops year over year. If we have that this upcoming November, there's literally not going to be anything for sale. Now we're starting to enter that time frame. If you look at it right now, and you guys have heard me talk about this before, what is today's date? The 5th of what? August? That's the actual date. Yes, congratulations. There's a lot of birthdays out there I know that are today that I know of. However, what is the business date today? If you were to look at your business, what is the date for your business right now?
Halfway through the year.
No, more than halfway.
Well, right now it's August 5th. However, what you're doing today is going to reflect in 3 months from now. So that's September, October, November. Today's November 5th for your business.
Mm-hmm.
The seasonal slowdown.
There you go. So therefore, when we're talking about that right now, and we're talking about that dip, right now is the time to get listings. If you have listings, you have control of this market right now. If you have a listing right now and your skills are not as sharp as they could be, what's the probability of selling a listing?
Oh.
Yeah. It's pretty good, okay? If you have a buyer right now, you are literally probably going, oh my gosh, I gotta scrap through all of these listings, which is only what, 15 of them in Tucson, and literally find that home and compete against who? It's not the seller anymore. It's everybody else. It's all the other agents that are actually constructing these different things to basically get the property for their client at all costs. Okay, so today's November 5th. Think about that right now. Get your mindset in the direction of where we're already in the fall or the winter months right now when it comes to your business. Okay, so that's new listings. Pending. Now this is interesting. Trajectory, we should be about right here. However, we're selling more homes than ever under contract. We have more homes so congratulations if you got homes that are under contract. However, that's a little bit of an anomaly here. That's actually quite a bit. That's a 31% increase. High or low, that's high. So if you, and not to sound mean, but if you don't have stuff under contract, you really need to go back and look at what you're doing and what you're not doing. Because there's 1,500 homes that are actually pending this last month alone. Now, again, not including all the new home sales. So we're going to get into that. So this is a little bit of an anomaly here. So I have a little bit of concern on that because as you see, that's the highest ever. We're selling more homes than we've ever sold in Tucson this last month. That's why we're feeling that things are great. Now, I'll go back to something that Gary Keller said in a closed mastermind. Don't let that fool you right now. Just because homes are selling right now doesn't mean it's going to continue in the future. Now, you've got to take a look at this because this is locally here. You can look at Sierra Vista, you can look at Phoenix, you can look at Tucson here. What are the different economic impacts? We're looking at what? Job growth rate. How's our job growth rate? Where are the jobs at? What kind of jobs are they? What's on the unemployment here? How's that affecting? Now, what just happened this last week with unemployment? Does anybody know?
No. What happened?
The funds dried up. They're done. They stopped. The checks stopped. So guess what? Those that had unemployment, those checks stop. So therefore, theoretically, they go back to work now, right? Now, those people that have jobs, now you have other people trying to find jobs. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this pans out, okay? So closed sales. Closed sales, though, even though the pending were up, closed sales were down. However, the pending indicator, that indicator of pending sales is going to reflect in closed sales here in June. One thing I heard Patrick say, well, you know what, I'm seeing a little bit more of a fallout rate. That might be the case too. So it might not be as high as we expect in the upcoming month if we have fallout rate that's a little bit higher, okay? So, however, we saw a drop of 27% last month, but we only had 3%. So therefore, that tells me that we're starting to close the gap, meaning that we are going to eventually catch up to that pending sale piece, right? Now, moving into the fall / winter, traditionally, and I'm going to say statistically, every single November and December, we're down in listings. Every single one since, I think, 1994. Some of you weren't even born then, when the MLS started running their stats. We have literally, that particular quarter, we are down in listings. Because why? People typically don't want to list their homes during the holidays, during Thanksgiving, during Christmas, etc. However, statistically, it's the best time to do it. So if you're going to do anything right now, hone in on your listing skills, get those listings, and then you have control of the market. Make sense? Right? So as you see, the seesaw pattern continues. We're on the upside right now. However, don't expect it to kind of continue up and go up continuously. Bottom line is we will probably see this dip down again in the winter months, okay? Same thing for Sierra Vista, same thing for Phoenix. Days on market, to be quite honest with you, this is one of the two slides that's extremely boring. And I will say that because bottom line is we're looking anywhere between 30 and 40 days on market. So it's a pretty aggressive market that's out there. However, we've been decreasing, with the exception of 1 month. We just had an uptick of 6 days on market. Anybody have any idea? And here's the thing, I don't have the answer to this, but why do you think we might have increased? Does anybody have any idea?
I think part of it may be that they're taking longer to review offers. A lot of agents are saying that they're not going to review offers until like Wednesday or Thursday, so they can get as many offers on the table as they can, which is putting more days on market for the property.
I agree with that, and I agree with lenders not being able to get appraisals in, with the appraisals taking longer, etc. So that might be the case here, and that's a pretty sound justification for that as well. I agree with that.
There's also a lot of higher end properties that are coming on the market. They're seeing the activity and they're thinking now is the time to sell if they're 600 and above. Mm-hmm. And they are still taking longer to sell than anything under 250.
And what are we seeing interest rates at right now? High or low?
Oh.
Dumb question, but we know the answer to that, obviously. So therefore, that puts the buyer in an advantage right there as well, especially if they're trying to squeak in a certain price point or go a little bit higher. When the majority of that particular payment is going to be tax deductible, and if it's a lower interest rate, they're putting a lot more towards principal. So,
and if there's any way you can have your clients go conventional versus FHA, you've got a stronger offer.
Correct. So let me elaborate a little bit on that. If you are literally, if there's two different offers, and those of you that handle listings quite a bit, and you have one that's a conventional offer and one that's going to be an FHA offer, the conventional offer is typically going to be the stronger of the two. We know that. And then therefore, that's typically what the seller is going to typically take on that. So median sales price, 260. This is the highest that we've been compared to back in February. Again, this fluctuates quite a bit as well too right now. However, we are up. That's bottom line is we're up 4% over this last month. And then also we're looking at up 6.4% for the 12-month average. I will say right now that's a little bit above the curve. So it's not sustainable forever. However, one of the things we have to watch out for is that inflation rate. Okay. I truly predict that here, I don't know when, but in the future here, our inflation rate's going to kind of jump up as well to kind of match this. Okay. Cost of goods are going up. We already know that. Prices are going up. The only thing that's not really going up are what? Wages of people. So keep that in mind there. Townhouse condos, as you see right there, the 177.5, that's the highest it's ever been. So therefore, we're starting to squeeze out the affordability index for those first-time home buyers as well right now. Unless they're coming in with cash, and typically first-time home buyers don't have a lot of cash. So a lot of loans are going to be being had with parents that are on the loan, etc. But we do have an upward trend in this area right now, as you see. If you're looking, if anybody owns a home, obviously, you like to see this upward trend because it tells you the value of your property is going up. Okay, so let me ask you this: why would somebody want to buy in this kind of market right now?
Low interest rates.
Okay, explain that to me a little bit more, though.
Well,
if I'm a first-time home buyer, I'm looking at it going, yeah, but your median price is $260, dude. I don't know if I can afford that.
your lower interest rates giving you more buying power.
Okay.
For every, for every, I'm trying to remember, the average is like what, $4 per thousand?
Yep, depending on the interest rate, you're right. Anywhere between $4 and $5 per $1,000 that you borrow.
So you math that out. What when we used to only qualify for 220, now with rates as low as they're getting, they could be qualifying for that 260. It's kind of relative, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
The interest rates are making it relative to the increases in value.
Correct.
I also think you have rent prices going up.
What was that again?
You have rent prices going up, and people are spending more time at home, so they're wanting to get more space or a home of their own where they could do things.
So here's the thing. I appreciate that comment coming in because I have it written down here, and I did not get the 2 slides in on here in time to kind of present this. But one thing that I will tell you right now, does anybody know how many rentals are in the MLS for June? Anybody want to give me just a ballpark? How many rentals are in Tucson in June that were active?
Couple hundred.
Okay. Well, I'll give you the exact number, 216. That's nothing. That's nothing.
It's kind of like looking at it as having 216 listed houses available in the marketplace.
Correct. So therefore, the inventory is down in that department. Now, to give you a comparison, back in June of 2013, there was not, pardon me, June of 2014, there was 1,047. We have a fifth of the amount of inventory that we did back in 14, 6 years ago.
Aaron, when you compare that to another statistic that we have more than 60% of our market are renters versus 48% are actual homeowners, that number gets even tighter.
It does. It does. The one thing that we don't talk about a lot, and I try to get my head wrapped around this, is the number of listings every single month. We got to remember that how many new builds were built over the years. That's including all of those. It's the numbers within the numbers. So with all the new builds that were built, it's including those particular properties as well. So we should see these things increase, not decrease. And we're in a situation right now that's actually, it's kind of intriguing. And you're going to see what I'm talking about here when I get to the inventory levels of where we're at. So median versus average, you guys have heard me talk a little bit about this here. We're at 313 on the median, or pardon me, the average. And typically the reason that we see this spike here is because larger price points are selling. Has anybody experienced anything that's over, 500,000 that are selling? Yes, we do. We have quite a bit of that. Now, you go back 6 years ago, that wasn't the case. I remember specifically that you would look at, anything that's over $1 million, you'd have maybe 1 or 2 homes in a month that would sell over $1 million. Okay. So what we're starting to see that higher price point kind of engage, and then people kind of picking those particular properties up. And we know for a fact that those are not first-time home buyers. So then therefore, if they're local, that means that they got to sell their other home, which that's why those price bands matter too when you start to look at the pricing. Okay. However, we're on an upward trajectory as well, which is good. List price to sales price ratio. This is actually the most boring stat. However, today it gets pretty exciting because instead of 98.8%, we're actually at 99. First time we hit the 99 mark. Bottom line is you list a home for 100,000, it's going to sell for 99. Simple math. So if somebody wants to come in and lowball offer, this is what you can show them. Okay. However, you know as well as I do, again, that list price is actually your starting point these days, not what the seller wants. Okay. Housing affordability. Again, we're starting to close the gap here just a little bit because the prices are starting to increase. If we see the interest rates tick up also, we're going to see this number shoot up pretty dramatically. So ballpark 120 is about a good mean average. However, we're going to see this increase if we continue to see our prices increase. With the amount of inventory that we currently have, I think we already know what that means. Supply is down, demand is up, people are willing to pay more. That's why you have multiple offer situations that go on. Okay. All right. So I went back to 2007 and I wanted to kind of show you guys some stuff here. Let me see if I can see this properly. Back in 2000, does anybody know how many listings we currently have on the market right now?
2,700.
Let me go back. 1,300 homes that are on the market, guys. Your stomach should turn upside down on that because that right there, see, it fell. It fell rapidly in a month. We don't have homes on the market, on the resale market. That's what you're feeling, not only now, but in the upcoming months. This isn't going away anytime soon right now.
Aaron, is that because of COVID as well?
Yes, it's a combination of it because here's the thing. There's a lot of, how many people right now still have sellers that are like, yeah, you know what, hold on. I just don't want a bunch of people going through my home.
I do.
There you go.
I got 3 of them.
If you've got one person, that's one listing potentially lost. You've got 3 of them, that's 3 listings potentially lost. That's one person. Do you see what I'm getting at? That's what you're feeling right now. And that's literally 30 to 60 days ago, ladies and gentlemen. That is ugly. That's down 48%. Now, we're talking 1,349. I'm going to talk about this for a little bit because for some of you, and I'll go back to 2007, there were 10,000 homes on the market. Not 1,300, 10,000. Do you see a different kind of strategy that you have to use? Now, let's go back to 1996. For some of you that were, I don't even want to say how old you were. However, there was over 4,000 homes on the market. Over 4,000, and we're sitting at what? 1,300. This is extreme. This is not the norm. Now, how many new homes do you think were built in 96? How many were built in 97? How many, and I can continue this all the way from 96 for the last 24 years? Of all the new homes that were built in Tucson in the last 24 years, those numbers are included in this number here. That's insane. If you can wrap your head around that and understand that, that's how extreme we are with our inventory on the resale side. If there's nothing that you're going to do today besides going out and talking to individuals that are potentially looking to list their properties, they have the advantage. I would look at one of a couple things. Individuals that are basically going to hit a tax ramification, such as the 2-year, 5-year concept. Does anybody know what I'm talking about there? If you've lived in the home 2 years out of the last 5 years, meaning they moved out and they turned it into a rental for about 2 years, 3 years. If they wait one more year, they're going to pay capital gains tax on the difference. Those people are the ones that you might want to go out and search for. Because if they sell now, they don't have to pay the capital gains tax. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google it. 2 years out of the last 5 years tax, capital gains. That, I had a long conversation with a good friend of mine that was out in California, okay? And literally a three bedroom, 2-bath home out in that area right now. They're renting for $4,100 a month. They could literally sell the property right now, not pay the capital gains, but if they rent it, one more year, they're going to have to pay the capital gains on it. So it's understanding the people that you're talking to and the listings that is advantageous for these people that have homes that may not understand that particular process. We got to increase our skill set with these sellers to educate them to what is best for their particular situation. Okay? But this is absolutely crazy. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That is absurd. You can run the same exact data for every single location. As you see right here, this is actually active listings from 2005, 6. The lowest that we've seen is in 3,000s here, guys. And we're at 1,300. Insane, okay? If you guys have questions on this particular deal right here and how it impacts, shoot me a message, seriously, because I want to be very clear on this particular point right here, because this is shocking, okay? Month supply of inventory dropped in half. So what does that mean? Means that we have 1.2 months of inventory. If we sell everything on the market, everything, it'll take 1.2 months to sell everything. Now, I will say, this is a harsh word, but that's unhealthy. That's very unhealthy. That's why you're seeing extreme measures being taken. That's why your buyers can't get under contract. It's not that they don't want the property. They just don't understand how extreme it is and how strong they need to go in to get the property if they really want it.
Aaron, there's certain price points and areas that have less than a week's worth of inventory.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you right now that anything that's under $200,000, good luck. I'll say good luck. And I mean that because literally you have got to, it's not being first. Because a listing agent, if they hold it for 24 hours, you're probably, I saw one property that, if I do remember right, it had like 77 offers on it. Insane. Insane.
Aaron, this is historical. I've been at this thing for 48 years and I have never, ever seen a number like that.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, if I was a betting man, JT, and I think if you were too, there's no way it's going to be below 1.2 next month. No way. However, look at our demand on the pending side. It's higher than it's ever been.
Exactly.
Higher than it's ever been. So what does that do to our inventory when we don't even have the new listings that are coming on?
Cuts further.
There you go. So I don't know. I'd probably lose money if I put money down on that because the forward indicators, the lead indicators are showing that it's going to go down even further.
Aaron, there was a question in the chat. Has there been an increase in FSBOs, and is there a way to tell?
FSBOs? You know what? I don't have any data on the FSBOs. I really don't. So that'd be very unprofessional for me to kind of comment on that because there's no tracking pieces that I have.
I've seen an increase in the signs out there, but that's the only way I've been able to tell that they're out there.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna ask a question here, and this isn't to be funny. This isn't to be mundane. It goes to show your value. If a FSBO can't sell their property in this market, why is that?
Just wrong pricing, wrong presentation, wrong approach.
Not enough marketing.
Lack of knowledge.
Exposure, not enough exposure.
Exposure, marketing are the two keys that I would look at. And the reason being is because if they throw it out there, people are probably going to jump all over it. So the second question is, what value are you going to bring to that particular FSBO? You know what I'm saying? That's what you really have to think about that right now. Not only that, but I always have the philosophy of go in and talk to them about where they're going next. Not just selling their home. Represent them on the buy side, wherever they're going. But they have to understand what they're getting themselves into if they're trying to buy. Educate them on that piece. You know? So anyway, good. Yeah. So not that this is ugly. It's just, it is what it is. You have to adapt your business accordingly. So therefore, if you are listing heavy right now, congratulations on your Excel sheets on all these multiple offers that you're presenting. Because I guarantee that's what you're doing. Extreme sellers market. What is a balanced market? Does anybody know? How many months of inventory is a balanced market?
5 to 7.
Bingo, 5 to 7. When was the last time we were in a balanced market?
Never in my career.
There you go. So you were in after 2012. So a balanced market right here was back in 2012. So if you have not been in the business, you've never experienced a balanced market, and understanding that, meaning that it's somewhat fair to both sides of the fence. Right now, the seller has pretty much control of everything right now. With the exception of price though, because why? Appraisals.
Appraisal value, yeah.
There you go.
The appraisers are actually working really hard to keep a lid on the values.
Yeah. So just keep an eye on that. That's something that we're really kind of trying to get a grip on. So residential properties right here, we kind of went through. I did throw this in here. Of course, as you see, this is kind of a snapshot of everything that's going on. Okay, inventory homes for sale down 46%. So this is kind of reminding me of, no pun intended, but like in the very beginning of the COVID crisis, there's no toilet paper on the shelves, ladies and gentlemen. And people were paying a lot more for toilet paper, am I correct? If there was a roll on the shelf. So that's kind of what we're experiencing right now with our housing industry. Now, with that being said, does anybody know what's happening in California right now? People moving from California into Arizona. Property tax, I just saw yesterday, they're going to be increasing property taxes again out there. People are fed up, they're done, they're moving. People are moving from the Midwest out this way. However, the COVID scare might put it on hold a little bit too. So just, keep that in mind too. But also, a lot of these individuals don't need jobs. They're already retired. So keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, population growth in Arizona ranks #1 in the nation.
Interesting. And my challenge to you guys on that is, where are they coming from? And that's where you market, because that's where digital marketing can come into play when you're marketing there, because by the time they get here, you're probably too late. They've probably already been talking to somebody or search somebody out online. All right. So let's talk a little bit about this. This is a new home sales stats. So there's a very, very shocking stat that I'm going to show you guys here that actually answers a lot of things compared to what we just saw. So when I get into that, you're going to kind of see that, and kind of we'll have a discussion on that if you guys don't mind. So new home permits were up almost 22% from last June. Now, what is a permit? Permit is basically go ahead.
I was just going to say the permit says this is a house that's going to be built.
Gotcha. So new home builders are in the business to do what? I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. They're there to build homes for a profit. Bottom line, the more profit that they can make, the happier they are. Am I correct? So if they are putting permits out there, do you not think they've done a lot of research in the area where they're getting ready to build, and they're betting that they're going to get a profit in that area? Yes.
Yep.
They don't build homes to basically not make a profit. So that being said, there's a lot of things that come into play. Whenever you have a new home builder that's in an area, it provides a lot of good things, such as what? Jobs, different trades, okay, that are out there. They want good trades because they want things to be done correctly because they don't want to keep going back and forth, you know, with something that's basically, you know, a subpar a build. So that being said, it brings in jobs. One of the downfalls is what happens to the cost of goods.
Increase.
There you go. They start to increase. So a cost of goods go up, which means what happens to prices? They go up as well because they gotta balance out profit. Okay. So DR Horton alone had 100 new home permits in June. DR Horton. Okay. So that's one builder. That's homes that are going to be built. Now, here's the thing. We're all human here. And we as real estate agents have a little bit of an edge on this. We can actually kind of foresee that if they're going to have permits, that means they're going to build homes. That means that that's going to be the future where my business may be. The typical homeowner that's going to work, let's just say Raytheon or wherever they're going to work back and forth, they could care less about permits. They don't believe things until they see sticks in the air. In other words, oh man, they're excavating the land. It looks like they might be building some homes. As soon as they see the homes being built, that's when the reality kicks in that, oh, there's new homes being built there. This planning process is already taken a year in advance. Now, before they build permits, what do they have to do? What does a builder have to do before they build permit or establish a permit?
Acquire land.
There you go. They got to buy the land. So that's the first indicator. Where are they buying the land at? So when you start to follow these trends, where are they buying the land? Okay, what kind of permits are they drawing? What size of the lots is going to determine what kind of size of a home typically, am I right? So you have that, the crystal ball starts to become a little bit more clear. Okay, same thing with down in Sierra Vista. Hey, Winters, you still on by chance? If not, if there's anybody from Sierra Vista, where are they building? Gotcha. Where are they building new homes down there right now?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Where are they building new homes down in Sierra Vista right now?
Hereford, and then a little bit in town, a lot just out on the outskirts.
Gotcha. Anything closer to Benson?
I believe there is some being, well, yeah, close to Benson. There's a big development coming in the near future.
Okay, it would not surprise me if we start to see people buying in Benson and commuting to Tucson. Mm-hmm. Why? Because price point's going to be just a little bit lower than it would be in Tucson. Just think about that, guys. When you start looking at growth in Tucson is going to be up in the northwest area and the southeast area right now. You'll see that in one of the maps that are kind of coming up here. So done. So permits. So new home closings were up 19.5% for the month over the same month last year, and just shy of 17% from the same time year to date. That's huge. Resale recorded escrow closings showed a recovery from the slow pace last month. If we say slow, however, again, we had a record month, okay? And we're nearly the same as we saw last June, but still off the pace for the year to date. To sum it up, homes are selling and a lot of homes are selling. That's basically what that says if you ask me, okay? So, note, permit trends are the most encouraging, especially as a leading indicator of new home market health. Why is that? Let's talk about that a little bit. Why is new home permits a healthy indicator again?
Well, because it means that houses are going to be built and they probably will sell.
Okay. So it is bringing jobs.
The demand is there.
What's that again, JT?
The demand is there.
There you go. The demand is there. So upward trend for leading indicator. So if we have an indicator that is up, the highest that it's ever been, what does that tell you about the number of potential properties that are going to be for sale here in the future?
It's going up.
There you go. So that's where your listings are at, ladies and gentlemen. It's not in the resale. You have the listings, you just don't know the inventory of your new home sales. So if I'm telling you anything right now, get out there and start looking at every single one of these new home builders and find out what amenities they have, what they have to offer, what price points they have, what incentives they have. There are some home builders in different locations. I don't even know if I don't think it's in Tucson here. I know Vegas, they basically, believe it or not, even though the interest rates are below 3, they have a 1.99% interest rate for the first 2 years. Then they go up to a 2.5, and then it locks in at a 3% fixed rate after that.
Aaron,
Yes.
give us some insight. Are all the new home builders cooperating? Because there was a time in history where the market was excessive for them not to cooperate. And so I'm curious to know what the mood is out there.
You know what? That's a very good question. For me to answer that, I do know, from my understanding, everybody that I know of in Tucson is cooperating, meaning you get paid on that. Keep that in mind, though, when it comes to if they get their marketing skills down, if they get their marketing skills down, and they capture that.
Aaron just froze. We're having technical difficulties.
Right.
Is he in the office?
Yeah, and my computer just slowed down. I couldn't type into the Zoom, and the Zoom flashed in and out. There may be something wrong with our server.
Aaron, you're
Are
not
you
here.
back?
You're back, Aaron.
I am back. All right. So what I was saying is there's a lot of different builders that have different strategies. And if these builders really put it together and get a good marketing campaign together, that's going to put pressure on us as agents to make sure that we have our marketing together. Because if they get that buyer before you and they're coming from out-of-state locations, you know as well as I do, they don't need to cooperate with you because they already captured that buyer before you. Think about that a little bit and understand how marketing really is a big indicator right now in today's market. So,
and I think the
again,
important
and I'm not saying that they don't market very effectively. What's that again?
The important caveat is for the agent to tie down that commission up front.
Yes. Yes, that is correct. I don't know what this means, but I would definitely look into it. Don't be scared of it. But here's the thing. I do believe D.R. Horton just teamed up with Zillow. Now, what that means, you can read between the lines on that. I don't know if that means that they're going to be basically listing all the properties, etc. Their MLS stuff on Zillow. Don't know.
The article on Inman, that was the indication.
There you go. So just keep in mind, our industry is changing dramatically. Now, I say that, however, go back 10 years ago and think about how real estate was done. You know, I will tell you right now, there was no such thing as a CRM to me. Nowadays, it's the livelihood of our business. CRM is basically, you have to have a CRM in order to compete. Otherwise, you're not running a business. I'll say that bluntly. And the good thing about KW is they offer you a CRM. It's whether you use it or not. Okay. So that being said, you need to really understand the tools that are being provided for you and utilize the tools to benefit your business. It's just that simple. If you do take a look at the last 3 months here in Tucson, the permit build is up dramatically, and it will probably continue for the next couple months. So therefore the closings, if they are increasing permits, what's that going to do to closings? It's going to increase it. I'm going to say that point blank. It's a comparison. It's just a lead indicator for closings in the upcoming future. So now I want to kind of show you something here, and it might be on this one or it might be on the next one. Yes. So what I want to jump to, and I really want you guys to understand right here, JT, can I use you as an example, if you don't mind? Okay. So total, let's look at the very last line. Total new home sales volume was 628 million. Let that sink in a little bit. Yes, that's a big number. However, what was the resale volume for closed?
511.
511.
Where's your commissions at?
Holy crap.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So whoever said that, why did you say that? Because that's exactly what I said, but it was a lot stronger of a term that I used.
It's just a scary number that half more than what we've been doing is in the new home sales realm.
Okay. So then let me stop you. Where do you need your business to be?
Yes, very clearly in the new sales where it all started for me.
Okay, so if you haven't shut down the computer yet to get your butt out there on the street to find out where these new home builders are at, that's what you need to do today. That's what you need to do. You need to get on the phone. You need to get out there, find out their inventory. I've been saying this for months, guys. Have I not?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that's proof of the pudding. That's where your money is at. There you go. That's where commissions are at. If I were to look at the percentage of buyers that we have under contract, the majority are under contract in the new home sale arena. That's where our business plan is at right now. Will that change? Sure. However, that's where it's at. That's where our listings are at, if you think about it. Jody started off the conversation today talking about that, saying, you know what, it was easy. There was nobody to compete with. It was a spec home. Now, if you don't know the inventory, you definitely need to, because you're out there competing with all of the other agents that are in Tucson, competing against the other property that just came on the market for 175, knowing you're going to get in a multiple offer situation. Okay, hopefully that's a golden nugget that you just took away right there, because when I first saw this, I had to read it like 4 times because, again, it didn't make sense to me. Well, are you kidding me? I had to make a phone call. I had to make a phone call to make sure that that was correct. Now, why is that? Why do you think that's feasible when there's more homes that sold in the resale versus the new home?
Price point.
Aaron, is
There we go. Thank you. Price point.
New home price point is almost $100,000 more than resale.
So hopefully with that news right there, you guys just went out and got your buyers under contract somewhere, or at least educated them in that aspect of going, hey, look, this is where everything's selling right now, guys. They may or may
Aaron,
not
is
want
that-
to. It's okay, but you've got to show them what they're up against. You know what I'm saying? So,
Aaron, is that data based on closed
yes.
or
Yeah.
under contract?
Close. That's resale sales volume. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's sales volume. Yep. That's close. So that's exactly what I'm getting at. So now here's the deal. What do you think is going to be with the lack of inventory, even for this upcoming month? I wouldn't doubt if this actually spreads even further.
Right. I bet July's numbers will look like that again or higher.
Mm-hmm. Now, don't think that this is actually going to continue that route. Now, we've done a very good job as agents. So pat yourself on the back, educating the public on basically, hey, well, take your property, turning it into investment property. So they're like, well, why would I want to sell? If I've got cash flow coming in every single month and the rental rates are actually up, yeah, I don't want to sell. I've got a hot commodity.
Therein lies part of why we don't have new listings coming on the market.
There you go. So you've done a great job with that. It's just that we don't have the inventory to actually sell to people that are actually moving here from California and all these other locations, because we're the fastest growing state. Whoever said that before, bingo. See what I'm saying? That's the problem we're dealing with right now. It's a good problem to have. However, position your business in the location to where you want to be in control. If you have the listing, you have control. Cool. So land prices, construction costs, new home sales prices continue to feel upward pressure. So we examine the pricing history market over the last 13 months for new and resale housing. So we know if those costs go up, prices have got to go up to increase the margins on profit, right? June average new home sale price equates very closely with the average we saw in January through August. While the median price reflects the builder's efforts to introduce more affordable new home products into the local marketplace, as well as the development of communities on lower price land. It's typically going to be outskirts. Am I right?
Yeah.
That's typically what we see. New home pricing trends suggest increasing future average prices and more stable median prices, while resale pricing tends to indicate an increase in both average and median prices due to that price point. So if there's anything to take away from this today, guys, it's this right here, and it's the amount of inventory or the lack of inventory that we currently have, and that is absolutely insane. You combine those two, it's a disaster. It's unprecedented times in the real estate market here in Tucson. Okay. I did include a lot of these other slides that are in here. Recent change by month in Tucson new home closings. As you see, we did have a little bit of a dip right here in the spring, and we are actually on the upside right now when it comes to new closings or new home construction. I'm not a big fan of this. However, I'll show it to you. This right here is basically all of the homes that were actually sold and gives you the price point in which they were sold. New home, I guess there was a new home over $1 million. Boom, up in that arena, part of the month, etc. Take the data and use it for what you intended to use. Now, the top 3 areas for new housing activity right now: Vail, Tucson, and Marana. So I do like the way that they show this right now because it's showing permits. As you see, the June permits in Marana are more than the actual closings, meaning it's in growth mode. Tucson is in growth mode. Vail is pretty stable. However, it's still growing. Okay. Permits by submarket. To be quite honest, this is a brand new slide. It's a pie chart to me that's actually bland. However, read through it, etc. If you're a subcontractor or supplier to the local housing industry, you can understand who to prospect to by tracking and performance metrics with their reports. So that being said, we are no different. We are no different, ladies and gentlemen. If you know who the home builders are, go out there and talk to them for a job. Meaning know their inventory, know their product, know what they do, why they do it, what they capitalize on, what is their vision, what are they trying to do, how many homes are in the subdivision, what does the subdivision provide. I'll be very candid, that is our job. It's just if we're going to sit back and put your feet up and wait for something to come onto the MLS, you're not doing your job. Now, I sure wish that there was a product that had everything that was coming. I do, don't get me wrong. However, that's not the case. And I'll be quite honest, that's not their strategy. Because they're doing just fine without it right now. See what I'm saying? So that's your job to get out there and get the information, not theirs to get it to you. So top 3 builders permits. This is where you're going to start to see a lot more homes being sold. That's another way to say it. Top 3 by closings. DR, Meritage, and Richmond. What were the top 3 here? DR, Meritage. Boom. So Lennar jumped into that position. Subdivisions. So I'm basically telling you where to go, so to speak. This is the exact locations where to go to find out where they're going to be building. Saguaro Bloom, Northwest side. What is this one right here, guys? You guys know what this one is?
That's
Quail
great.
Creek. What kind of subdivision is that?
Active adult.
There you go.
Saddlebrook Ranch, active adult.
So a lot of the ones that are building right now are towards active adult communities. That may be a business model you want to start to look at, okay? This is the closings. Saddlebrook. What is Saddlebrook? Active adult. That's
No,
what closed.
Willamette Dove Mountain, active adult. Quail Creek, active adult. Hello?
A lot.
And
So-
Aaron, we have to start being active adults.
There you go.
Love it.
If you want business, this is where it was. Okay, that's past tense. This is where it's going. You with me?
Yes, sir.
So if you want to market, this is where you market. If you want to jump on the bandwagon, this is where it was. That's all. Okay? Detached product permits and master plan community. So they're breaking it down into master plan community as well. You guys remember Red Rock? There you go. So it's part of the norm now. Before it used to be Southern Phoenix. So honestly, I put a question mark here because I don't even understand what the heck this slide is trying to represent. So if anybody can figure this one out, do me a favor, give me a call, and then we can kind of go over this together. So, but I put everything in, only miss anything on the stuff that I do get, but just let you know. Map below, locations of June 2020 buys of greater than 15 acres of land. So remember we talked about the permits. They got to have land first, and then permits go into place. And then once permits are in place, they start to build, and that's when the public actually understands what's going on. So this is when in a couple months, we're going to be talking about permits in these locations. With me? There you go. So, anybody want to read this right here? Jay, can you do that?
Yep. As we see signs of a resurgence of the pandemic in Arizona and recognize that the loosening of restrictions is on hold, it becomes less clear that we can expect that the region's economy will be back to some form of normalcy in the days just ahead. In fact, we may see additional restrictions, and the outlook for the economy and the local housing industry is becoming murkier in the days ahead. So far, Arizona and Tucson have been impacted far less than other areas, and the relatively strong stats that we have shared in this edition of the market letter and our Magic Pro housing data application may be impacted in the days ahead. The overall economic outlook and the growth in jobs and population that have seen have been positive for the region, and we believe will continue to support the housing market in Tucson in the months ahead. Still, we need to pay close attention to the market's performance as we plan for the near and midterm for housing.
So what are some takeaways? Anybody?
The new home business is booming.
That's a fact.
Aaron, if you want to build a relationship, if you want to have a value proposition, then you've got to know your numbers, and you've got to create new relations with those new home builders. Remember, not all new home buyers are first-time buyers. And people who are going to buy new homes may have a house to either rent or to sell, and there's another market for us to look at.
True statement. True statement. Has anybody experienced anything out of the ordinary as of lately? Any tips, any tricks that you guys have that you've seen? We talked a little bit about that on different trends that are going on in other locations, such as the asking price is a starting point. It's not, okay, that's one. If you can get that in the mindset of a buyer, to let that be understood. And they're a little bit protected, a little bit by the appraisal, potentially, unless they're doing cash with no appraisal. So there's a couple different things that kind of help protect them as well. And then of course, but it's you educating them on what in the world's going on if they really want that property.
Aaron, can I add one thing?
Yeah.
This is a really good time to write a clean contract. If you are missing boxes or you put in things that are inappropriate or in the wrong spot, you're going to get a counter offer versus an accepted contract. You may get kicked right out of the race. So this is a really good time to learn your skills, do it right, make sure you use the current forms, and just write a strong offer.
You know what? That was one of the situations we were talking about across the board with our team the other day. And that was one of the things to where it is more prominent now than ever to do exactly what you said, because imagine yourself as a listing agent and you receive a bunch of different offers and you have one that comes in. It may be a good numbers that are on there. However, it's pretty much garbage. It's not tidied up. It's not clean. It's not done. Now that right there, one of our sellers said, you know what? I appreciate that. However, if that's the way it's going to start out, I don't even want to go down that road.
Agreed. You're putting your best foot forward at that point, and if you start out sloppy, it's not going to get better from there.
Yep. And here's the thing.
The other thing that I'm seeing is that there are a lot of agents, when you're getting 17, 18, 20 offers, they're not multiple countering. You've got to put your best foot forward in the beginning, put your highest offer out there, and make sure that your buyers understand that they've got to be as competitive as possible.
Okay. One piece of advice. It's called the telephone.
Yeah.
When you submit an offer, do not submit it and expect them to check their email and then call them back later on and go, hey, did you get it? You know what, dude? Not unprofessional.
Another
Pick up
thing,
the phone, let them know it's coming. Yep, let them know it's coming. Also, not only know it's coming, but here's the thing. Ask the listing agent what's important to the seller.
Bingo.
Seeing an increase in buyer letters also. Tell them who your buyers are. Tell them why this property is important to them.
So
Jody, you're shaking your head. No, why?
Yeah.
Lisa's
Be careful
gonna
on that. Yeah, yeah. It can be used as a discriminatory tactic, which of course we try to avoid at all costs. On both sides, your buyer could write something in their letter that the seller finds offensive, or the seller could find something in your buyer's letter that they find offensive. So you don't want to use the letter as a bias point versus something that makes it more advantageous. So just be cautious.
Yeah,
Also, sorry, Aaron, I was just going to say, I also think that and I've seen this happen in a couple of places. Everybody's in a hurry to get an offer in. Slow down when you write your contract. Go back over, check it, so on. Check with the other agent. Hey, I'm going to get this to you. That's the phone call that Aaron's talking about. We're going to submit an offer. We're going to make sure it's a good, solid, clean offer. And I'll call you when I'm coming with it. That way, that can you wait for it? Yeah, we'll wait for it. Take your time and do your contract carefully.
Thank you for that, Larry, because here's the thing. Yes, price is important. However, do you not think to a seller, maybe the closing date's important? Maybe, what else is in the contract that you could put down that could potentially be important to the seller?
Higher earnest money deposit, possibly where there was a note in there about after acceptance, some of that earnest money goes non-refundable. Clear out your concessions, all of that kind of stuff.
Okay. And I'm gonna piggyback on that kind of stuff, because some people may be going, well, what kind of stuff is that? If you were to write the strongest offer possible, it is finding out from the listing agent what matters most to these sellers. Anything.
Not only that, but you're building a relationship with that agent up front. You're showing your professionalism, which then that agent goes, wow, I want to work with them on the other side because they know what they're doing and they're trying to benefit, making it a win-win. And you're building that up front before everybody else gets to the party.
Mm-hmm. So again, we're in a different time right now. However, this isn't going away anytime soon. Until we build up the inventory, it is not going to go away anytime soon. So anything else from anybody?
Aaron, I would just add, avoid being the adversary in any transaction. Be the advocate for both parties. If you go into it that way, you're going to create the relationship and the acceptance that you need for your client.
Correct. And it's actually probably more important now than ever. Anybody else have anything whatsoever?
Kathy Boston has something.
I think her internet's glitching.
Connection is, how can we strengthen VA offers at all?
Oh, you know what? We have a lot of VA offers that we do. In my opinion, and this is strictly opinion, it's educating that buyer at the buyer consult what they're headed up against. Okay. Just because a home comes on the market and you're the first one to put the offer in, so what? That's great you got the offer in, but you know what? That listing agent's going to have a predetermined amount of time before they, review all offers at this time. Here's the thing. You've got to educate them that, listen, the probability is pretty high that we're going to get multiple offers on this property. That's a fact. Now, with that being said, yes, you're using VA loan, no money down, potentially. Doesn't mean that they don't have to. If they can, it's going to strengthen that offer as well. So that's a piece of it too. Some sellers, some are scared of a VA appraisal coming in.
Yep.
Okay. Educate them on that. You got to educate them on that. It's all, the only thing that has changed is the type of market that we're in. Nothing's changed.
No, I do that, but the problem is when you have some that want to, like the recent one I had, they wanted to see if my buyer would waive the contingency. I knew my buyer was not in a position to do that. So, but the education portion, as you mentioned, is something that I do in the consultation because most of my buyers are VA buyers.
Correct. And you know what? I was talking to some individuals out in Las Vegas about this. This type of market squeezes out VA buyers. I'm just being blunt. Whether we like it or not, it does.
It's true. It's true, and it's unfortunate. Yeah,
Yep.
it's true.
And that's something that I talk about too. There's we've had VA buyers that they're authorized to use VA, but you know what? A better positioning would be to use conventional. Now, do we like it? No. However, it is what it is. Do they want the property or not?
Right, and there's other tools in the contract you can use. You can not ask for a home warranty and pay for it yourself. You can pay all of the transfer fees and stuff for the seller. Going back to Aaron's first thing is paying the seller's closing costs. There's a lot of things a VA buyer can offer to try to counterbalance that.
Correct. I think the biggest one too is just like what you said, and I'll say it again, right now again. How many people have written offers to pay for the seller's closing costs? We typically see it the other way around.
Yep.
So that being said, how bad do they want the property? It stinks, but it is what it is. I know Joanne Hanna just made a comment there. Don't be scared to put in backup offers. That's actually a good thing. We've had a lot of things fall through with the first buyer, and we're in second position on that. So keep that in mind too. Good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have anything else. Thank you for your time. We're in unprecedented times in real estate industry right now, which is actually a good thing. If you're doing real estate right now, it's actually a great time to be in it right now. So that being said, keep doing what you're doing. And if anybody else has anything whatsoever, please speak up at this time.
Great job, Aaron.
Well, thank you
so much, Aaron. Appreciate
All
your
I
time.
do is read what's on the screen. So,
Great conversation.
No,
Yes.
it's the insight beyond what you read, Aaron, that makes this work.
there you go.
Thank you so much.
Hey,
All
I think
right.
try to plan on having some more mastermind activities going on where we can share these types of things. Would people be interested? Give me a little quick thumbs up. So I'm going to be working on getting that on the calendar so we can give best practices and have more of this type of dialogue. So thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it as always. You guys have a great day, okay? Go get it. See you later.
Thank you.